What happens when an undercover boss walks into his own hotel and overhears two guests having a conversation that shakes him to his core? Let's dive in to see how this seemingly ordinary visit turns into a life-changing moment for everyone involved. The story begins with Jacob Harrison, a self-made billionaire and the owner of the luxurious Grand Horizon hotel chain. Jacob wasn't the typical flashy businessman. Despite his success, he believed in staying humble and connected to the roots of his business. He had built his empire from the ground up, starting as a bellhop in a small motel when he was just a teenager. Over the years, he climbed his way up, turning his dream into a reality. At 48 years old, Jacob was known for his sharp business mind and his compassionate leadership. But running a multi-billion-dollar company often distanced him from the day-to-day operations. That's why Jacob decided to occasionally visit his hotels in disguise, wanting to experience things the way his guests and employees did. These undercover visits were his way of staying grounded. On a chilly December evening, Jacob put on a simple sweater and jeans, swapped his designer watch for a cheap one, and wore a baseball cap to complete his look. He looked nothing like the polished CEO the media admired. This time, he chose to visit the Grand Horizon Hotel in Chicago, one of the crown jewels of his chain. The hotel was famous for its impeccable service and luxurious ambiance. As Jacob walked into the lobby, he noticed the grandeur he had worked so hard to create: the sparkling chandelier, the marble floors, the warm and welcoming atmosphere. It filled him with pride. But tonight, he wasn't here to admire the decor. He was here to observe. He approached the front desk, where a young receptionist named Emily greeted him with a bright smile. Her kindness felt genuine as she helped him check in, never once suspecting who he really was. Jacob took a moment to appreciate her patience and professionalism before heading to his room. Later that evening, Jacob decided to grab a coffee at the lobby cafe. As he sat at a corner table, blending into the background, he couldn't help but overhear a conversation between two guests seated behind him. Their voices carried just enough for him to catch their words. "I can't believe this place is so expensive," said a young man, his voice filled with frustration. "We've been saving up for months just to spend one night here." "I know," replied a young woman, likely his wife or girlfriend, "but it's supposed to be our anniversary. I just wanted it to be special. Besides, you've been working so hard and you deserve this." Jacob leaned in slightly, curious but trying not to be obvious. "It's not about deserving," the man said. "It's about the reality of it. We're barely making ends meet, and I still don't have enough to pay for my mom's medical bills. Spending money on a fancy hotel feels wrong." The woman's voice softened. "I understand. But sometimes we need moments like this just to remind ourselves that life isn't all struggle. And look around, you've built this moment for us. You worked overtime for months to make this happen. Let's enjoy it, even if it's just for tonight." Jacob felt a pang in his chest. Their words resonated deeply. He thought about his early days, working endless shifts just to pay rent and support his family. He remembered the sacrifices, the sleepless nights, and the uncertainty. It was a reminder of the people his hotels served, not just the wealthy and elite, but also those who saved up for a rare moment of joy. The next morning, Jacob noticed the couple in the dining area for breakfast. They were sitting at a small table, sharing a modest meal. The man looked exhausted, yet there was love and gratitude in his eyes as he smiled at the woman. Jacob decided to approach them. He introduced himself as Jake, a curious traveler who loved meeting new people. The couple, Alex and Mia, welcomed him warmly. Over the next hour, they shared their story. Alex was a mechanic, working long hours to support his mother's cancer treatment. Mia was a part-time teacher, doing her best to contribute while pursuing her passion for art. Jacob listened intently, his heart heavy with their struggles. They spoke about how this one night at the Grand Horizon was their way of celebrating love amidst all the chaos. They had no idea they were talking to the man who owned the hotel. Before parting, Jacob made a decision. He didn't want to reveal his identity just yet, but he asked them to wait a moment. He stepped away and called Emily at the front desk, instructing her to cover the couple's entire stay and discreetly refund their payment. Later, as Alex and Mia went to check out, Emily informed them that their stay had been complimentary. "A guest who overheard your story wanted to do something kind for you," she said, smiling. The couple was stunned, tears welling up in their eyes. They asked who had done this, but Emily simply shook her head, honoring Jacob's request for anonymity. Back in his office a week later, Jacob couldn't stop thinking about Alex and Mia. He realized that while he had built a successful business, it was moments like these that gave his work true meaning. He decided to set up a program within the hotel chain, a fund to provide complimentary stays for families in need, especially those going through medical or financial hardships. He named it Horizon Hope. Months later, Alex and Mia received an invitation to the launch event of the Horizon Hope program. They were flown to New York and put up in the Grand Horizons flagship hotel. It was only then that they learned the truth, that Jake, the friendly traveler they had met, was actually Jacob Harrison, the man behind the hotel chain. As Jacob took the stage to announce the program, he spotted Alex and Mia in the audience. He spoke about how their story had inspired him to create Horizon Hope. When he finished, the room erupted in applause, and Alex and Mia were among the first to stand, their faces filled with gratitude. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.